Hey traders, Marcello here from thedaytradingacademy.com, and I want to do a quick lesson on how to trade news. I've been getting this question a lot in terms of what to look for, how to look for it, and also how to trade around it. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to forexfactory.com. I'll put the link there in the video, and you want to press on the filter. Go ahead and select only USD because the majority of you are going to be day trading the US markets, and also only select the high and medium impact items. Okay. Now the high impact items are going to be red. The medium impact are going to be yellow. Low is yellow. And then the medium impact items are going to be orange. Now we only stop trading for the red high impact items. You can see here I try to break this down into two kind of separate sections. So whenever you check forexfactory.com, you should be checking it before you before you start trading, or even in the beginning of the week, just to kind of highlight what important items of news are coming out. For example, if we have an FOMC meeting, that's extremely important, because that can change the dynamic of not only the week but also that specific day and the days afterwards. So go to forexfactory.com, set the filter, that'll be saved with the cookies on your computer, and then make sure you look for all of the red high impact items. Now the majority of the news that you're going to see is going to be around the between 8:15ish to 8:45 zone. And then there's also a big batch of news that always comes out between 9:45 and about 10 o'clock. So whenever you see that red impact, and I want to stress this, whenever you see the red high impact items, we only stop trading for the news reports, the Chicago PMIs, the consumer reports, the manufacturing reports, the ones that are red or high impact. Whenever you see red high impact of G20 meetings or anybody speaking like Ben Bernanke, we don't stop trading for someone who speaks. And the reason why is because that's not going to spike the market, right? We need to be very careful in terms of volatility. And when someone is speaking, it may move the market in a certain way, but it's not going to spike the market. So only news reports that are red or high impact. Now you're going to stop trading about 5 minutes before news. So stop entering trades, stop looking for trades, go to the restroom, use the bathroom, anything along those lines, about 5 minutes before news. So stop entering trades 5 minutes before news, and if you're already in a trade, make sure that you get out about a minute or two before news. Now there is one exception to that rule, which is the Chicago PMI report. One of our traders at the Day Trading Academy told us that the Chicago PMI is actually released a little bit early to, insiders, the bigwigs. You got the small fries like you and I, just, we don't get privileged information that way. So for Chicago PMI, you want to stop trading, I would say, anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes before news. So you stop trading 10 to 15 minutes before news, and I actually would recommend to get out of trades for the Chicago PMI report, I would say anywhere between about 8 to 12 minutes before news. And the reason why is because that comes out early. It can spike the market. The Chicago PMI is also an exclusive news report that no matter if it's red or orange, red high impact, orange medium impact, always stop trading for that, because oftentimes these will change the level of importance, from high impact to medium impact. So anytime you see the Chicago PMI, stop trading altogether. Okay. Now the second one we have is the FOMC report, and the FOMC report, the minutes, they normally come out about 2 p.m. I've seen them sometimes at 12 p.m. as well. It's important to catch these because there is two decisions that you can make. Either you can just not trade for that day. For example, I myself just decide not to trade that day. A lot of times, a lot of our traders will either decide to not trade that day entirely, or to just look at the early morning session. And a lot of times what can happen with the FOMC report is you'll get some good activity, maybe half an hour, or an hour and a half, and then the volume will die, and very rarely you'll get good activity throughout the day. But the thing with the FOMC report is the afternoons are generally very, very high volume, very, very high volatility. 2-3 years ago during the 2008 crisis, the afternoons were absolutely incredible. Now it's really a toss-up. That's why you just want to make a decision. You don't want to trade during that report. The volume will likely slow down well before the report. It normally comes out at 2. I have seen it at 12, and then sometimes you will see the volume die down about hour, 2-3 hours before the report. So that essentially is how you trade news. Now, after the report comes out, what you want to do is wait for the volatility to stop. Wait for the spikes in the actual bars to stop, right? You can see that in the Renko bars, in the tick bars, or even candlesticks, but you want to make sure that you identify the behavior of the market. That's one of the things that we try to do at the Day Trading Academy is understand how the market works, right? If we're paying attention to that behavior, then you're going to know whether it's 2 seconds after news, if news doesn't cause any specific reaction, or if you have a reaction that takes 5, 10, 15 minutes. So don't set a time limit for when you're going to continue trading after the news report comes out. Pay attention to the activity of the market and gauge what the reaction to the news report is. So if you don't have any spikes, if you don't have any reaction, go ahead and continue trading, look for an opportunity. If you have a situation where you see a few bars that spike, then at that point you want to go ahead and wait until the market calms down a little bit. A lot of times what will happen is, the market will spike in a certain direction, and instead of continuing, it will spike right back in the opposite direction as well before continuing in that opposite direction. That's why it's so important to go ahead and wait until the reaction, the erratic behaviors, what we call it, stop in the market. Then in the beginning of the morning, set your calendar to what those news times are. Stop trading 5 minutes before news. The only exception is the Chicago PMI. So that the Chicago PMI, you should stop trading 10 to 15 minutes before news. If we have the FOMC, make sure that you decide what you're going to do for that entire day. And then once news comes out, then go ahead and look for the erratic behavior, look for the reaction, and then look for that reaction to stop, that erratic movement. So that's it, guys. So always remember, whether it's high or red impact, the meetings, the meetings and the speakers don't matter. I get a lot of guys at the Day Trading Academy that are always confused about that. If it's red or high impact and Bernanke is speaking, they won't trade. When in reality, you should be trading. The only thing you stop trading for are the actual news reports. So we're going to go ahead and sign out, guys, for this weekly training video series. Next week, we're going to talk about how to trade the options expiration week, which is very, very important as well. So check us out. Let us know if you have any questions. Like the video. Leave a comment below, whether in the post or the YouTube. Let us know if you have any questions. You guys have a great one. Ciao.